That's what the search results are going to be, because that's what you're searching for, is what customers want.
Right. Like on Twitter, you have hashtags.
Yeah.
Facebook hashtags. Instagram, and then you have this thing called keyword research, and then you have all it really is those are all the same things.
Right.
Hashtags, keywords, your search engine optimized list of whatever, or market research, a list of your products and where you do your services and what your products and services are.
Right.
They should all be the same, tailored towards who your ideal client is and how they talk about stuff. That's it.
We just have a couple minutes left in this segment, so I did want to tackle which platforms to be on, but also I wanted a word of caution. If you get on Twitter or you get on Facebook or whatever you do, for goodness sakes, please don't do this. Hi, we're running a carpet cleaning special, or hi, for $6.99 we'll fix your toilet. And everything you send out on social media is another commercial message. You can get those out there, and you should, but it has to be interspersed with stuff that people want to see and want to read and want to hear about. So I kind of do a mix. Now, my show, we tackle politics and current events and social issues and all these things, but I'll tell you what, what's amazing? Sometimes I'll post something on my Facebook page about how out of control the United States federal debt is, and I'll get like 800 people to look at it. I'll post a picture of my kid with a potty chair on her head, and 3,000 people will look at it. Now, my show's not about kids putting potty chairs on their heads, but what it does is it reminds people, they go and they take a look, and they're like, oh, there's other stuff's here. And I'm like a real person as opposed to just a commercial, another commercial, which we're bombarded with commercials constantly. Yeah. I'm not against commercial messages, and I think the First Amendment, we should respect the First Amendment rights of commercial speech as much as we respect other rights. But I'll leave that for my radio show. But
3 o'clock today.
But we're inundated constantly with that stuff, and so in order to break through, you got to be a little different. And I think being a little different means sometimes putting yourself out there.
Yeah, someone that's taught me this a lot, and you've been a huge mentor in my life, and as well as the owner of Striventa and the people he surrounded himself with, where I work, and it's constantly, they push me in this direction, which is be yourself.
Right.
And that's something that you, as a person in radio that mentored me and has just been a friend, someone who's very important to me, has done for me, is taught me to be myself. Where the most innovative idea I have is doing that. Like, hey, I think one time I posted a picture making fun of myself about my ideological, philosophical, esoteric radio show on the weekend I was doing when I met you, with a picture of my daughter saying, that's what it was for. It wasn't like this big worldview battle of, belief against belief or party against party. It was just, I was trying to make the world a better place for this cute girl.
Yeah.
And there was like 5,000 people that liked it and shared it. And it was
That's
crazy.
Awesome.
Because they connect with it.
Right. Or for instance, I was just discussing with my kid all about, whether or not we should reinstitute a military draft. And my daughter looked at me and said, are leprechauns really green? Because that's, the kids think simply, and it just drives home. What it does is it evokes emotion in people. It makes them either smile or laugh or get excited or whatever it is. And when you can touch someone emotionally, you've really done something. You really have. Now, I caution you on this only because I've gone down this road and screwed it up. And that is, you got to be careful that, that it's sincere. You can't pretend to have a life. You got to actually have a life.
That's true. People can tell.
Yeah, people can tell, and they'll just pick up on the subcontext of that, and then they think you're a fake, and they want nothing to do with you. Even if you're like the best plumber in Rochester, they don't even care at all at that point. All right, so next we'll get into what platforms you should be on in social media, and also what you can do to dress up your company, like with a logo and that kind of stuff. We'll get into that in just a moment. You're listening to Lifeness with Logan Hall. Wait, what just happened?
Oh man,
something just happened.
That was the recording, but we're still streaming though. So,
all right. So, we just broke the show, but that's okay.
Radio automation. That's for like the 4th installment of this series we're going to create, I think.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Okay. All right. So, you got a simple web presence. We talked about blogging, and then you've got. Then you have to get on social media, and you got to be yourself. We talked a little bit about that, but Where do you send that info out? I mean, do I get on? I remember I was talking with a friend of mine the other day, and I said, you're the reason I got on Foursquare. I don't even know what Foursquare. I didn't even know what Foursquare is, but I saw you were on Foursquare. And I remember Foursquare was ridiculous because you could become the mayor of some place if you were like checked in enough from that one place, like a coffee shop.
I never got that, man. I tried.
And then it fell away. Nobody cares about Foursquare anymore. Nobody cares about Foursquare. So,
right. In a different way. But yeah, they care about it in a different way. It's funny. They kind of revamped. It was all about like the new Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
And the only reason I went on there is because you could log in with Facebook.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
And so now they're a data aggregator of local business information like a Yelp.
Ah.
But anyway.
Which we should talk about your local business and your data out there. So as far as the platforms go, I think you want to be where people are, which is Facebook is
right.
wildly popular. There's more people on Facebook than there are that live in the United States of America worldwide, of course.
Facebook's a number one for sure.
And then Twitter is not really a super distant second, but they are a distant second.
Yeah. I would say they're necessary. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, and but it's hard. It's hard to tell everything in 140 characters. That's where that blog comes in handy because you can direct people then to your blog to find out more.
Exactly.
You tease them a little bit. It's kind of like it's like a tease. And then YouTube is a place you might want to consider going.
Yeah, especially if they're doing any videos already, if they plan to, it's definitely.
Yeah, and you can actually create a playlist. You don't even have to create your own videos. You can create a playlist of other people's videos and direct people to your YouTube page to see the videos that you have a playlist of.
True.
So it's always a good idea to have your own video, and it's so easy to do anymore with with everybody's got a video camera in their pocket these days.
Let me rephrase that. YouTube's definitely necessary.
Okay.
It's just the hesitation in my mind is that people that work so hard at making an awesome website and doing everything perfectly, and then they have a blank YouTube channel with someone's phone and it just looks like crap. And it's just that you really have to get with someone that knows about video to help you because it's such a personalized, awesome tool that you can craft stuff that's not expensive.
Honestly, as long as you have decent lighting and
so you're that somebody right now.
If you have a good message and you have decent lighting, so I'm not looking at you, sitting in a dark room, and you hold your phone horizontally, not vertically. Hold your phone horizontally so it fills that 16:9 screen on YouTube. You can create your own videos. You don't have to be, some awesome videographer with a massive TV studio. If you want to go a little farther, there's some pretty simple programs that you can use, like an Apple-based one, iMovie. You can create decent productions. My wife does a lot of that stuff for her classroom, and she's actually a YouTube star teacher, and I don't think she's ever used like a professional program like Final Cut Pro or anything.
Yeah. It's not so much they need like an 8-camera angle thing. It's just what you just said is what most business owners need.
Yeah.
They need to know I can use my iPhone or I could use an iPad in this case. Oh, I do need good lighting because it is about the message. And the message does get blurred like when the audio isn't recorded well, or just little stuff. It just people notice.
Yeah,
and it takes away from credibility or their impression. They're like what? And they don't even know why.
You can buy not a wireless, but you can buy a wired lavalier microphone. It's commonly known as a lapel microphone. You can buy one of those for about $20, and then you can you get a tripod and mount your phone on it, your iPhone or your Android phone, and takes beautiful video. It can take very beautiful video if you've got some good, decent lighting. And guess what? There's all sorts of information on YouTube about how to shoot decent videos for not much money, and all sorts of tips and tricks on there. And that's what's great is that because you need to be on the internet and you need to be found. Your business needs to be found on the internet. But the internet is also so full of information to help you get on the internet and look good on the internet. And so there's no way in 30 minutes, we can tell you everything you need to know. And frankly, we don't know everything you need to know for your particular business.
Yeah, that's true. Like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube for sure. But then like sometimes Pinterest, people build a whole business off it. Other times Instagram helps. And so some of that has to do with the personality of the business owner and what they feel comfortable with as well.
And then there's Google Plus, which you have to pay attention to as much as you don't want to, because Google pays more attention to Google Plus than they probably would if it wasn't their product. Maybe it's fair, maybe it's not fair, whatever. They're private company, and they have the right to treat content the way they want to treat content, frankly. But there are some other simple ways too, by the way, that you can dress up your business. If you're looking for a new logo, you're like, yeah, I'd love to be on the internet, but my logo's from 1969. What was the website we were talking about before? Where
99 Designs.
99 Designs. Yeah. You'll get a bunch of different designs and people vying for your business, and you don't have to pay them a whole lot, and they can design a logo for you, and you'll get several samples, and then the one you'd only pay the one you pick, and it's a pretty cool little deal. So 99 Designs is a great way to go, and then of course you need to be on the directories. This is very important, and this is where I consider James to be an expert, and much more of an expert. In fact, I'm so far from being an expert on directories, it's ridiculous. But you just need to go out, and there's many different places you can claim your information on, that's listed on the internet. In other words, your business address and your phone number and all that. It's sitting out there,
right? But
you need to claim it and say, "Yep, that's me."
Yeah, and there's a lot of good. Well, there's a billion websites on all this stuff. And one of the ones I use is a website called Moz, moz.com/local. And so it's moz.com. And they do a lot about internet marketing, content marketing, which is just basically what we've been talking about this entire time. And then local SEO, which is your name, address, phone number, and getting it on as many places as possible and having it consistently out there.
Yeah.
So like Foursquare, they failed at what they were trying to do as a social network, but they had to access all this data, right? Like real-time places where a business existed. So you could send a special. I could send a special to your phone if you walk by my burger shop at 12:30, and only you would get it if you were within like a 1 block radius.
Really?
Yeah, so it's cheap advertising.
That's
it's pretty
cool.
good.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
Foursquare does that stuff, and they kind of revamp themselves. So they give the data out to everybody. So those data aggregators are a lot of times unknown. Like I never heard of Axiom and all these big companies. This is who Google gets their information from.
Wow, it's amazing. And Axiom has actually been around for a long, long time.
Before the internet.
Yeah, before the internet really was popular, and now they've taken it all to a whole new level with their with basically all the data that they have.
It's pretty amazing. It is, because it brings together this idea that your stuff can be messed up in a couple different areas. Your phone number could be different. You could have changed numbers. You could have had a call tracking number and then lost it. You could have went from one address to the next. And like, let's say Yahoo Maps and Bing Maps and Google Maps have a different ones, or they have your old address and your new address. It's like taking the amount of authority or the chance that you would have of being found and cutting it in half by at least.
Wow. Yeah.
And so just cleaning that stuff up and having it consistent is perfect. And that website it's like a small business resource to help people along the way. So
yeah, well, and it's just it's a lost opportunity if somebody actually, if by the way, that's an AIF file. If just we're doing a little background radio talk here.
Yeah.
It's a missed opportunity. If somebody finds you online and it's the wrong address or it's the wrong phone number, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to call that," and it's, "I'm sorry, this number has been disconnected," or they drive to your business and it's not the plumbing shop in Rochester that they wanted to go to. It's a Carl's Jr. That's not good. So go out there, claim what's yours on the internet. Moz.com is one of those great places to do that. First off, though, let's run through the steps real quick. We got about 40 seconds left. Get yourself a blog. Just simply look up on the internet, how do I start a blog? Then consider social media. Some of the platforms you want to get on are the ones that you've heard of. And then you can expand from there.
Hey guys, I'm here with the
but don't make it just your your business stuff. Make it also about life and the things that other people are talking about, and then have fun. Have fun. It's not you're not going to break the internet, and you're not going to destroy your life if you just don't do social media exactly the way it's supposed to be done.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is. It's a process, and it is a lot of fun once you get into it.
Yeah.
One thing at a time.
And you'll make mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes. I've said some dumb things, and I owned up to them though. Thank you for listening to Lifeless with Logan Hall. It's life, it's business, it's lifeness. I'm Jim Sharp. He's James Allen filling in for Logan Hall here, and he'll be back with you next week.